Okay, well, welcome to another Pneuma of Now podcast. This is your host, Richard Blankenship, the triple guru of Kansas. But remember, we're not in Kansas anymore. So today, on today's episode, for today, yes, today, because that's all we have is today. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift. That's why they call it a present, the present moment. That is where your power lies. You know, before we get into the wisdom teachings, I do have a little update for the audience. Also, I really want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. I mean, we are getting this channel officially uploaded every single week. Still shooting for Wednesday and Sunday releases. This Sunday, we're going to have The Astral World, Its Scenes, Dwellers, and Phenomena, chapters 5, 6, and 7 ready for you. And today being Wednesday means that we have another update pertaining to this Sunday. So, the story I want to tell here is basically a demonstration. I basically want to share a demonstration. Actually a couple of them, and by this time tomorrow, when this video upload is complete and live, much of what I'm talking about today will have resolved itself one way or the other. So tomorrow is a very special day in my life, and we will just kind of keep that news update on the back burner. But what I do need everybody to be aware of is that I will be going on a YouTube live event. It's the Teslatech channel on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, type in Teslatech as one word, Teslatech. You will see a channel there run by a gentleman named Steve Elswick. He runs a conference, the ExtraOrdinary Teslatech Conference. So he's running that operation for many, many years, has been really one of the forerunners, if not the forerunner, bringing interested people into Tesla's technology in one place to collaborate, share ideas, and really try to manifest something very special on this planet. And so I actually gave a presentation at one of his conferences in 2016. So at that conference, I presented a theory by Kelvin C. Tetryonics, another concept and another topic we do discuss on this channel at length. If you are not up to speed on that, check out the videos, look up the Tetryonic materials on my channel. You can see me talking about that with the inventor and the creator, the author, Kelvin C. So in 2016, I was invited to give a presentation, an introduction to the Teslatech community pertaining to this new theory, this new geometric model of energy, mass, matter, all that good stuff. We don't have time to go into those details right now, but if your curiosity is sparked on where we're headed with the new physics, we have a lot of that information here and a lot more coming at you. But for the last couple of months, in my mind and out loud, I've been saying something to myself. I was going to tell myself that set a goal to do a Tetryonic presentation of some kind, basically on my Discord server, which is going to be there for this community. You guys are welcome to sign up and hang out and discuss amongst yourselves, and I'll pop in when I can. But with this channel comes a community. But the interesting thing is, I was really in my mind planning a 2 or 3 hour Tetryonics presentation at the end of February. And last week, Wednesday of last week, I get a phone call from Arizona. It's Steve Elswick, and I was super excited to hear from him. Haven't touched base with him in many, many years. And he extended this invitation to do another presentation. It's not necessarily going to be the same presentation that I gave in 2016, but that is a video that you can also see on Teslatech's channel. You just type in Tetryonics and Richard Blankenship, and you will see that presentation. But on Sunday at 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern, or 6 p.m. Pacific. I will be going live and doing a little presentation for about an hour. I just invite anybody to come hang out. There will be a live chat, like an open chat available during the live premiere. So your questions are welcome, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's a great opportunity for my second round presenting for the Teslatech community. So one, I want to thank Steve Elswick for the trust to do this again. I've got a pretty special presentation planned for everybody. I'm pretty excited about it. Been working on it all week and have a couple of final touches to put on it, but that's the big news. But the interesting thing, the demonstration, I really want to make sure people are aware of is I put this into motion somehow in my mind. I was already going to do a presentation February 26th, 2023 with just a small group of people. But look what happened. I put my thoughts into motion. I spoke them out into existence. And somebody from the other side of the country called me. I don't have to do my own presentation. So lucky for me, I get to just join somebody else's live. This is going to be my first YouTube live event that I've ever done. So that's another little pretty cool momentum. I put a Facebook post out the other day. I don't have it word for word, but basically the idea is that momentum is a key indicator for growth. And if there's anything I'm feeling in my life right now, it is momentum. And I am really trying to put that energy and put that momentum on display for everybody here listening to this podcast. So this is basically the introduction, and you know what we like to do around here. We are going to listen to a song or two. I think maybe one today. And then I do have a little bit of another topic to kind of discuss. So this is just the hello, the welcome, the thank you, and the gratitude for everybody listening. Thanks for being here. We do have a pretty cool conversation that's going to follow this song. So I really hope you enjoy it. Just sink in. Just allow this music to really change your mental atmosphere, change the dynamic, the energy moving around. That's the goal. Music is transformational. And I'm going to continue to bring music as a key facet to what we do here. So thank you for being here, and we'll be back after this song. my gosh, what a song. Wow. Hadn't listened to that one in a while. That's a oldie but a goodie from Catalyst. Back in 2005, we recorded that song. Thank you, brothers, for really inspiring me in a musical way. So that one goes out to my brotherhood of musicians who recorded that song, who spent years and years and years working with me and working together to build something out of nothing, basically leaving artifacts for the world to enjoy. Interesting part about that track right there is I actually slowed it down a little bit. So I wanted to move that tempo into a different direction. I even have a version where it's sped up, and I really like that one too. But for today, we just wanted to do a little bit different taste with that particular song. So the name of that song is Winter Woe. We wrote that, I believe, on a Christmas Eve while snow was on the ground. Probably in 2001, maybe 2002. But that recording was from 2005 at the Blue Chair Studios. And we had just an amazing time with that record. So a lot of the podcast here is going to feature those songs from that album. We have instrumental tracks. We have tracks with vocals. And then that other band that I used to play for, the Quentin Cash Band, a lot of those songs are going to appear here as well. A lot of the same musicians appear in those two different styles of music. So as a drummer, I am just always ready and willing to play almost any style of music. But really, my forte is rock and roll, heavy metal, grunge, that kind of thing. So always looking for musical collaborations, basically a drummer for hire right here. You know where to find me, and I'm not hiding from anybody. So in this next part of the episode, because tomorrow is going to be such a big day in my life, I always go to the stars. People love this astrology topic. You either love it or you hate it. But remember, we declare here that we're going to entertain all manner of ideas. We're going to inspect them. We're going to discuss them. We're going to have dialogue about them. But I opened up a random page in this random book. Page 9, number 9. So this page reads, from Bacon's Essay of Prophecies, quote, when I was in France, I heard from Dr. Pena that the Queen Mother, who was given to curious arts, caused the king, her husband's nativity to be calculated under a false name, and the astrologer gave a judgment that he should be killed in a duel, at which the queen laughed, thinking her husband to be above challenges and duels. But he was slain upon a course at tilt, the splinters of the lance of Montgomery piercing his neck. Unquote. But it continues here. Ancient astrologers attempted to amuse as well as educate and guide the populace. The medieval play of Harlequinade serves as an excellent example. It is astrological in origin and is still performed in all pantomimes in England. It is based on the assumption that the four fixed signs, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus, are representative of the fourfold being of man, that is, spirit, soul, mind, and body. The writings of Greek philosopher, here we go. Philostratus, who lived in the 3rd century AD, informed us that astrology was known and practiced in Greece as early as 1184 BC. Euripides, in 480 to 406 BC, wrote that Hippo, daughter of Chiron, was able to foretell the future by observing the rising of the stars. Famed writer Henry Miller declares, an astrological chart, when properly read, should enable one to understand the overall pattern of one's life. Astrology is like medicine or music. All depends on the interpretation. There is no limit to that art. And then a quote from Shakespeare follows. There's some ill planet reigns. I must be patient till the heavens look with an aspect more favorable. And then at the very end here, one more quote. D.H. Lawrence writes, we and the cosmos are one. The cosmos is a vast living body of which we are still parts. The sun is a great heart whose tremors run through our smallest veins. The moon is a great gleaming nerve center from which we quiver forever. Wow. Okay. So that's it. Well, actually, let's go ahead and do this because I like Helen Keller. I have no idea what this is about to say. As I wander through the dark, I am aware of encouraging voices that murmur from the spirit realm. I sense a holy passion pouring from the springs of infinity. I thrill to the music that beats with the pulse of God. Bound to suns and planets by invisible cords, I feel the flame of eternity in my soul. All right, so let's just sit with that for a second. I'm going to readjust the posture of my body real quick. We're going to slow down the conversation because this is the old style radio show, but we are doing a little bit different format today. Today was a little bit of a news update. Thank you so much for Steve Elswick's invitation to present Tetryonics' second round to the Teslatech conference. So I kind of want to get back to that for a minute and really just expand a little bit about my memory and my recall of that event. My guitar player at the time drove me to the conference so that I didn't have to navigate or stress out. I'm kind of one of these people that doesn't really enjoy the open road the way that some people do. I do like to travel, but I don't like to drive. I tell this to my friends every so often, but I will know that I have arrived when I have a driver. So once this channel gets to 1 million subscribers and I've sold 4 million books and all that jazz, you got to cast a vision for your life, okay? And that's what I'm doing, and I'm putting that vision on display for everybody here. I'm going to celebrate my small wins. I'm going to celebrate my small victories, and then I'm also going to talk about my challenges, because I think that when I share my challenges, even though the circumstances, the conditions, and the events of your challenges are going to differ, the mental mindset behind how we navigate and how we adjust and make changes. But let's get back to this whole idea of the Tesla Tech Conference back in 2016. My buddy was driving me to this New Mexico Albuquerque address here, and we had some kind of mystical experiences there. I really can't go into it, but we had some amazing moments on that drive. And so we kind of get in there and we get our hotel room all situated. And by that point, Kelvin, the author of Tetryonics, had already checked into the hotel room, you see. So this was going to be my first meeting with Kelvin face to face after having about 4 years of meetings online. So we had just been invited to this conference, and I mean, Kelvin just thought it was going to be a kick to come along for the ride. You know, he had never been to the United States. So really, really cool part about my story with this conference and the Tesla Tech community in general is just that the invitation originally in 2016, I mean, it really did come out of nowhere in my mind. And when Steve Elswick gave me that, basically contacted me, I did not hesitate. I just accepted. I didn't even put any thought into it. Like, it was just one of those things that you just realize it's going to really be a challenge. It's going to challenge you in your mind for a little while, and boy, did it. Oh, man. So I've never given a public presentation. I've never given public speaking. That's not who I am. I'm a musician. I have no problem performing and entertaining a crowd and actually giving you like more energy behind the drum kit than you're actually probably used to. But when it comes to getting up there and talking and using your voice, this was 2016, remind you. I've done a lot of work since then. But I think the point that I want to make is that this was a really pivotal moment in my life to get this invitation and to meet Kelvin for the first time and fly him from Australia to the United States. I mean, that's pretty big stuff, like it's a historical event that I was a part of. And I'm just one player here. I mean, I didn't come up with the theory. I'm not the next Einstein, right? I'm not the next Newton or Galileo with the next biggest idea. But what I do recognize is that we've got the next greatest idea right here. And it's been a lifelong journey, or not lifelong, but it will be a lifelong journey for me to just continue this pursuit. Because we really do have some amazing, amazing things to show you. And we're going to be getting into that this year. So the 2023, it is going to have a Tesla focus. And I'm not talking about the electric. I'm talking about the inventor Nikola Tesla, who basically lit our world for the first time, like legit, like connected his machinery to Niagara Falls and created Power Star. He's the most, in my mind, and arguably in other people's has a different opinion, but we're really trying to bring this whole idea of Tesla's knowledge back to life. And I'm telling you, we have the understanding now. We can do it. We have it. At this point, we're just trying to communicate with people and give them a new lens, give them a new idea, and see what they can do with it. But this conference, I mean, I've never done anything like this in my life. I had to prepare like in earnest. And you can see that. But it's my rookie performance, okay? So go easy on me. That was the example of somebody walking into their just absolute fear and just staring their fear right in the face and just walking into the unknown, but doing it anyway, okay? Showing up, because it's not just about you. What I'm trying to do here isn't, it's very, very altruistic. The intention behind the things I do, it really is to help improve life on planet Earth, even for somebody a million miles away that I've never even met, okay? It's too difficult. It's ridiculous, and we're going to get into this. Now, we're going to have to save it for another episode, but whatever's going on, whatever forces, whatever battlegrounds we're up against, however you want to define that for yourself, it doesn't have to be this complicated. I'm telling you, I've seen a simpler version. I've seen a version. I've experienced a version firsthand that I think is possible. I think it's probable. I think that some of the visions that I've seen, some of the sights and some of the impressions that I've got, I think there are probability waves. I think I've seen into a possible, potential future. But in order for us to manifest that future the way that Nikola Tesla was trying to manifest, it is going to take a group effort. We're going to just also invite you, Steve Elswick's going to invite you to join the channel for $9.99 a month. You're going to get exclusive access to his members-only content. Okay, we need help. If we're going to change the world, we need a group effort. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my own level of responsibility and say I'm ready to discuss this with people who are willing to discuss it back. But the ideas that we're presenting are going to be very challenging to a lot of people. But we're here to answer your questions. We're here to point you to the right direction. And with a little bit of help, we can really change this planet fast. That's the other thing I want everybody to realize. It can take a while to change things, but there's other pivotal moments in history where things change fast, okay? We got to get there again. I think we're there. I think the world changed in 2023. I'm not sure we've identified it yet. I'm not sure we've put a name on it yet. But I always call it an alchemical renaissance. The analogy I make, yeah, the renaissance of the past, but the renaissance of the past was but a candle flame to the torch that we're going to light this world with. Okay, so here's another key point that's coming in here real quick. Let me breathe this in. Okay, so this whole idea of control, you can just freaking leave it out the window. But I want to replace the idea of control with another concept in the mind. Okay, so rather than controlling things, what we need to do is make adjustments. Oftentimes, I find that the right adjustment with the right timing can be the perfect answer to an otherwise impossible or improbable solution. So if we can just upgrade our language one day at a time, one word at a time, one sentence at a time, if we can learn to write affirmations with positive intention, thought structures that are going to go spiral, not viral, okay, we want to spiral our way into infinity. We are already basking in an infinite, glorious ocean. And if we need reminding of that, I'm here for it. I hope that this channel is a constant reminder to anybody who's listening that has forgotten your worth, has forgotten your capacity for endless, creative, compassionate, loving, altruistic ideas. We need to share our ideas on this planet more than ever. We are in a new age. Okay, I called it. I don't know when. I think it was January 24th, and that's probably a little late. But to just be perfectly honest, I think it was January 24th when I realized the world had changed again for the better. And if you're really perceptive, what I'm seeing is that we're coming back to life. Okay, humanity is ready to speak our voice and shout it loud. We talked about that last week, the power of the voice. We're always going to come back to that, always going to come back to that, because for me, that's what activated this whole project. So I want to remind everybody, the thing is, when you listen to a recording of your own voice, how awful and how terrible it sounds. That's just your perception because you're not used to hearing it from the outside. So it's a little bit different. Might sound a little tinny, might sound a little higher pitched than you're used to because you're used to hearing your own voice through your bone structure, not the airwaves. But I'm here to tell you, if you just record your voice for 3 to 5 minutes a day, you do that for a month. But I'm going to ask you to review your game footage the same way a professional sports athlete does that. And as a musician, for all you musicians out there, I'm going to give you a big secret right now, because what I do on this episode, what this show with this channel, we just give you the goods. If you want to change your life, you just need to listen to a couple episodes. Pick out 3 or 4 different things you want to accomplish, and something in here that we're going to talk about is going to apply to you. And you're going to have an idea. I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm not here to tell you what to do or what types of decisions to make, but I am here to just guide a thought process and highlight with a marker, a fine-tooth comb, the specifics of the mindset training that goes into self-actualization, self-manifestation. This whole idea of self-mastery, it takes discipline, it takes courage, okay? You have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to let go. You have to know when to shut the fuck up, and you have to know when to take action and get the fuck up and move, okay? Get your body into motion, get your thoughts into the world. Any hesitation that you have on sharing your authentic self is faulty programming, okay? It's going to take a little while for you to get over the faulty programming, just like anybody. We've been traumatized by society. We've been traumatized by people's opinions. We've been traumatized by codependent mindsets where we're trying to please everybody. We're trying to give so much of ourselves that we don't have any room for ourselves to channel it through, to bring through this divine moment. We need to broaden the perspective, take a deep breath, and reassess our situation. Change is difficult. Thinking is difficult, and that's why people judge. Okay? So we are really going to give you some amazing ideas here, but for me, in this time, what I'm dealing with in the next 24 hours could be pretty exciting stuff for me. And then, not to mention, Sunday's YouTube Live. That's also a secondary, very, very super ridiculously exciting thing for me. So if you can hear it in my voice, I sure hope you can. And I'm going to try to be my best self. I'm going to bring my best game to the presentation on Sunday. But there's something else on my mind, and I have to be my best self for that as well. And that's tomorrow. So I'm using this episode here to just encourage people that, walking off of the plank, walking into the unknown, it can be a very scary thing. It can be very disorienting, especially just getting back into the world and trying something new and meeting new people and saying hello and talking about the weather, like not saying too much, not saying too little, wondering what this other person is thinking about you, or how they're perceiving your conversation or your style or your flow or your cadence or your timbre or your tonality, or maybe you're just on a different level today and you're just feeling a little bit like reading a book outside while it's raining under the canopy. Or maybe on another day you're ready to go dig a hole, get your hands dirty, get those negative electrons flowing up your bloodstream through the feet, through your soles, whatever it is that's going to get you excited. Go find those things. Do those things now. Yesterday. Okay, it's too late. There's never enough time. There never will be enough time. So this key element of time management, I've gotten to the point, and it's taken me 5 years. Okay, 5 years of constant attempts to organize my life, get into a routine. And at this point, I'm basically planning my every hour of every week. In my mind, I take Sundays to do an hour or two reflection on the week. I ask myself a couple of questions. What could I have done better? Where could I have made improvements? And can I acknowledge any mistakes or areas where I need stark improvement? Okay? We assess ourselves here. It's self-assessment. I need to remind everybody that we have an incredible ability to self-assess, but you have to take the moment to do it. You have to get a piece of paper. You got to write it down. You got to plan your week, and then you review that week. Your plan does not have to go according to plan. The very action, the very intention of setting out a plan. Okay, so what I do here is Sunday is the last day of my week, and then I take that day to recuperate and rest. I take 2 hours to plan my next week. And for the last month or two, I've been pretty on point. I hope that this YouTube channel is an example of my new levels of discipline. But we have to cultivate that discipline. You have to make decisions today that are going to influence your decisions for tomorrow. So I call that, I have a phrase that I call that. I haven't honed in on it perfectly, but it's staging tomorrow. Put a project into motion before you go to bed tonight and leave it out on the counter so that you are forced to acknowledge that you started that project in the morning or tomorrow. Put it in a special place that you're going to walk by and go, oh, I do need to finish that. But if you just put it into motion tonight before you go to bed, set your mental intention that tomorrow at some point that's going to be one of your top 3 action items of the day. Okay, so when you wake up in the morning, another good practice that's been really helpful for me, and this really is going to be the last thing we talk about tonight, but if you can wake up in the morning and identify the 3 things that must happen before bed, and then eventually when you get the hang of those 3, you can move it to 5. I'm going to tell you, before long, you're going to wake up and you're going to have a whole day without anything pressing. You might have 1 or 2 things to get off in the mail, a couple phone calls to make, a couple emails to read. But ultimately, when you do this practice long enough, you're just on top of it. You're already ahead of it. And the freedom that that allows is that when an unexpected, random act of strangeness swirls into position, you actually have the mental bandwidth to handle it without stressing yourself out. Okay, so these are some master practices. Okay, we're going to offer some lesson plans, some assignments, and some homework at some point. We're not ready for that yet, but for those of you that want to do some work, you're going to want to get ready with a pen and paper. Now, we always do the blue pen on the Luminal Mind channel because there's a secret. Use a blue pen when you're writing important notes. Something about the color, something about the intention of the color itself is going to improve your your memory recall. But as we improve our memory recall, we are naturally going to improve our dream recall. Another topic we're going to talk about this year. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. I'm just going to thank each and every one of you, all the new subscribers. Thank you. It's so amazing to see my channel stuck at 42 subs for like a year, and then to see it almost at 160. So I think here in the next 2 weeks, we might have 200 subscribers. So welcome all of the newcomers. Please feel free to leave your comments, ask your questions, join the Discord, and definitely check out Sunday's YouTube Live on Teslatech channel at 6 Pacific, February 26th, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you, and just you guys go out there and do something amazing today. Do something amazing tomorrow. Stage your future. Set something into motion that forces you to respond to it tomorrow. But we want to respond in a conscious way. All right? And we want to respond in the moment. So we're going to leave you with one thought, and one thought alone. Deep peace in the Pneuma of now.